Welcome to the I Know Nothing podcast. Today, we have Ellie Cerf, one of our graduating seniors right now, going into her first year of college, basketball player. I've known Ellie for less than a year, I guess?
Yeah.
About less than a year. She was in-house with our physical therapy team, and she has slowly come on to the strength side of things. Ellie, give us your elevator pitch of who you are, where you're at, all the good stuff.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. I played varsity basketball at Bethlehem High School for 5 years. Then I played AAU for the Philly Bells, and I'm going off to play basketball at Dartmouth College, and I'm excited. So, yeah.
Nice. There's a couple things we want to go over, and we're going to try to stay on track today. But Ellie walked in today. Today is Sunday. Nobody's here other than her and me in the morning. She walks in. She's like, where is everybody? It's 9 a.m. at the time. And she says, what did you say exactly?
I was like, I guess 9 a.m. is a little bit early for
That's
somebody
right.
on a Sunday.
A little bit early for someone on a Sunday. We ended up only getting 3 people. All 3 of those people are college athletes. And the difference is we had this conversation last podcast with Abby of like, what does it take to get to the next level? It takes someone texting me at 7 o'clock in the morning saying, can I come in and work out? Absolutely. We train on Sundays. There's not really an off day. Sometimes I have to dial Ellie back with how much weight we put on the bar, but it was just a good way to start this podcast of this is the person who is here on a Sunday getting after it, and we actually worked out together today. So we're a little bit wrecked from our workout. Before we go into your whole career, explain the Philly Bellies. Because she was wearing Philly Bells. She was wearing the shirt the other day. I'm like, wait, you played in Philadelphia and we're from the Capital District. So can you explain to everybody, first off, who that team is and what that experience was like?
Yeah, it was a good experience. AAU is a crazy world, really crazy world.
Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I will. I started off playing AAU. I think I was in like 4th grade. You know, back then it wasn't like crazy or anything. It was like
Hold on.
Orange
What's
Crush.
4th grade AAU? You're traveling in 4th grade?
No, it's just like, playing around the capital region.
Okay.
Farthest it goes like Saratoga Springs.
Okay. All right.
Orange Crush was just like, with all my friends on my Bethlehem team. Then kind of as I got older, I think 8th grade, and actually 6th grade, I played for the Albany Falcons AAU. I played in their varsity.
In 6th grade?
Yeah, AAU team. So that was a good experience.
Okay.
And kind of just playing up from a young age.
Is that still local?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we've traveled a little bit farther, like, like Boston. But
okay.
It wasn't really like too much.
All right.
And then in 8th grade, I kind of took it more seriously. I joined the Albany Capitals with Julie McBride, which was a great experience. We travel. You travel all over. Chicago.
And what year is this?
What year? I was in 8th grade, I think.
Okay, so you're in 8th grade.
So
you're traveling all over.
8th grade actually was the COVID year, so
Gotcha.
We didn't really get the chance. I think we went to 1 tournament, but after that, we spent a lot of the time kind of just like working out like every single day.
Okay.
Despite like the pandemic.
Cool.
And then going to like 9th grade, it like really got more serious. And you travel all around like Chicago, like Indianapolis, all these places, Virginia, like I don't even know anymore.
Is this year round?
No, it's only from after your high school season to the end of July.
Okay, so that's pretty short season.
Yeah, and then for my last AAU season, because you only really play AAU until your year going into your senior year, the summer going into your senior year, and I decided to make the change to the Philly Bells. Just get more exposure, get more in front of more college coaches. Yeah, it was a good experience. It was a lot of traveling.
I was going to say, so everyone's understanding, Philly means Philadelphia. You're traveling to Philadelphia and going to tournaments with this team.
Yes.
And this team is a team of girls from all over.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is crazy. Looking back at it.
Well, that's, and again, why I'm asking it and trying to like lean into that a little bit is to let everyone know what it took for you to get to the point where you're at right now, where you've been on a travel competitive basketball team since you were in 4th grade.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as competitive in 4th grade. It really was like starting in like 8th grade, where it was like really. Like,
okay. And then in your high school years, you were traveling on this Philadelphia team.
Yes.
And literally going down there.
Yeah, for the last year.
Okay. And that was helpful to where you're at right now?
For my recruitment, just getting your name out there. being on like, because in AAU, like in these tournaments, like you have like literally 100 courts in like a convention center. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
you're
Oh, I've
playing
been to them.
in,
I've
yeah,
been to them.
if
I'm
you're
trying to let them know what
yeah.
it's like.
If you're playing on court 99 in the back, no
No one's
college
seeing
coach
you.
is going to your game.
I got
I
you.
promise you, no college coach is going to your game. So you really want to put yourself in a position where you're playing the best competition, and you're in front of as many college coaches as you possibly can, because you don't know who's going to recruit you, who's not going to recruit you. So
This is just such a big topic,
mm-hmm.
so I'm going to go one more step with it. At the high school level, you're seeing, especially for basketball, and maybe you saw this, and maybe that's why you played in the Philly Bells, but you're seeing that like people don't get recruited at high school. They're getting recruited at AAU tournament. Mm-hmm. Is this true?
Yeah, I mean, for high school, like a lot of coaches would like watch my film, like on Huddle or something.
But how
like
did they even get to your film? Was it because of AAU, or is it because your name popped up because of high school basketball?
It was because of AAU that they probably mainly saw me. But you have open gyms where I had a lot of coaches kind of reach out about those opportunities. I had we had a winter tournament in Amsterdam, where I had a lot of coaches come, and then some came to a few home games. So, gotcha. But it was mainly because they saw me on AAU circuit or elite camps.
Yeah, like that. And I think people need to understand, because you have a lot of people in here who maybe aren't going to be Division I basketball players or Division I athletes. And the point is you committed to this a long time ago. Mm. Did you play any other sports?
Growing up, I did. I did whatever my brother did.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah.
So when did you specifically go, okay, basketball's it? Like that's the main focus.
I'm honestly like anybody in the town of Bethlehem will tell you, like all my friends will like tell you, like since I was in like 4th grade, like basketball has like been like what I did.
Yeah.
Like that's like just what I did. But I did things like cross country throughout middle school. I was like pretty good at cross country.
I could see that.
Came in first in like
I could see
5
that.
races. So yeah, but like it was just always basketball. Like it was almost like I didn't want to go to cross country because like I always think about was basketball. So
it's a good point, and I guess the point I'm trying to make before we move on is I've only known you for less than a year. I know how much you dedicate your time to basketball with your skill work. She has her basketball here. We haven't even touched it yet today, but it's always with her. The amount of effort and I would say like attention to detail to make sure that all of your skills are honed in so that you can go play at the Division I level. Mm-hmm. Whether it was your main goal or not, you were going to be successful because you put the time and effort in. You did the AAU teams. You put the time and effort in. And I want people to understand my main message. You said it first. Like the main message is if you want to get to these levels of playing Division I sports, this is what it takes. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to only play one sport. But the basketball was in your hand year-round, all of the time. You're always shooting, always ball handling. She challenged all of the PTs and coaches in here and athletes the other day and stole the ball from everybody. But that's the level of athlete that she is, and that's why she is where she's at.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I think you gotta like love it. I think a lot of times you see like parents kind of like push it onto their kids.
For sure.
And at the end of the day, you gotta love it yourself. You gotta wanna like go get shots at by yourself. Like I came from a family where like my parents were never basketball players, like at all. My dad's from France. My mom played soccer. So it was just me. Like my brother introduced me to it at the YMCA, and I just loved it from there.
I love it. It's good for young athletes and parents to hear all of those messages. Let's go into it right now about what happened last August to this point now. I'm not going to talk about it. You kind of bring us into what happened with your injury and maybe like fast forward us through to the point where we're at right now.
Yeah, it was my last ever AAU tournament. We were in Virginia at USJN Nationals, and I was on defense. The girl kind of went into me, kind of like so I couldn't strip the ball away from her. She was like driving on her right side. I just took a step back. I stepped on somebody's foot and just planted it wrong. It was kind of like, oh, like that felt weird. Like I stepped away. The trainer was like, "You're fine." I was kind of like, I don't know. And then, fast forward, I got my MRI, and they said I tore my ACL. Unfortunately, I got surgery in August. kind of it was a really bad timing for something like that to happen. You're at the peak of your recruitment. I was kind of going back and forth, like, do I want to reclassify? What opportunities do I have? Fortunately, I committed to Dartmouth, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And I'm like happy that it all worked out, and I couldn't be more excited to go play for such a great school. Great coaching staff, great program. So yeah, it was a hard process. It's you go from like literally not being able to raise your leg off of a bed, right? Like one day after surgery, and to where I am now. It's just like you gotta just trust the process. And there's a lot of days where it's like easier to like give up or like be like, maybe I'm not made for this, but you just gotta keep going.
Did you work with Allison immediately after your surgery? Like, did you start with her? Okay,
Yes.
so Allison's one of the PTs here. That's how Ellie even got introduced to me, but they've been working together since whenever that was. When did you guys start?
I saw her like a few times. One time before the surgery.
Okay.
And then I think my first session was like 2 days after the surgery. I
Okay.
was walking that first session.
Okay. That's how long that process has gone, and I wouldn't say this is necessarily luck why you're at a Division I level. We just went through all of this. You were going to go play at this level one way or the other, and your attitude and your effort, you were going to play at this level no matter what, injury or not. And you were our athlete of the month last month because of this. How many sessions did we have? Was it
18 or
18 workout sessions, but all of the other days were PT sessions. So whether you have an injury or not,
or basketball session.
Yeah, or basketball session, but like there was no days off, and we're living in the world where now it's like, oh, I'm gonna go do my PT one time a week. I'm gonna go do my strength training with my coach one time a week. I'm gonna go to my shooting coach one time a week. No, Ellie's here every day, and she's at basketball every day, and that's why you're at where you're at, and that's why we just destroyed our legs this morning. And she can do those things. She's constantly getting stronger. She's getting faster. She's jumping higher, and she's preparing herself for the next level. So it's cool. And I know it's not easy to talk about that situation, but you're better now for it, right? And you now have the guidance of a team around you, but also all of this education. Like, you could probably handle someone's ACL therapy, rehab, and strength training right now. Seriously, like, that's how much you've been here. And you've been, obviously you were dealing with Allison and our staff, which is a phenomenal staff, but it's because she was showing up. Like, that's my main message. So it's all good stuff.
Yeah, I'm grateful I had such great PTs, and I continue to have such great PTs.
Yeah.
And, I think, along with what you said, like, also there's the aspect, like, you're not kind of have a chip on your shoulder because, when you're injured, you have a lot of people that kind of like, oh, like, will she be, like, the same player? And I think there's a little bit of, like, incentive to, like, prove, yeah, I'm still Ellie Cerf. Like, I still can do all the things I did before and hopefully more, so.
Hell yeah. Okay, let's take it a little more lighter with like the training and stuff. I'm gonna share our story, which you already know. So even though I knew Ellie in here, like, she always has great energy. She always, like, when she's in this facility, the energy's just good, whether she's in PT or not. Like, she's talking to everybody, she's moving, she's always moving. Sometimes we have to say sit down for a second, but she started training with me, and like, we're having fun, we're getting after it. Her effort's awesome. And one day we're going to bench press, and she rolls the bar out on the rack, and she's like, hey, can I get a blast off? I'm like, what's a blast off? So for those out there who don't know what a blast off is, me neither. That's the first time I've ever heard it from a high school senior. Blast off means lift off in the world of actually lifting weights. So that's the thing now. From now on, it's only a blast off. When Ellie is lifting, it's called a blast off. Can you explain where it came from, or did you make it up?
I actually did make this up. I made this terminology up, yes. I don't know, like, why call it a lift off when you call it a blast off? Like, 3, 2, 1, blast off.
It is, and we joke about it, but like, that become the thing. Now around here, it's not a lift off. Do you want a blast off? So it's just a funny way to transition into our training here, but that's patented by Ellie herself here.
Yes. Training-wise,
we were talking about this before we started. In our area, there's a ton of strength and conditioning coaches. Ellie's trained with 3 of, in my opinion, 3 of the ones who have at least been doing it for a long time and are pretty good. What have you seen with your training? Basically, in general, like, stuff that you've done, things that you've seen, but like, how much has that affected you on the court playing basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to, like, get in the weight room if you want to play at the next level, whether that's like Division 1, 2, or 3. Like every program has like a strength and conditioning coach. Everybody has like a summer workout program that they're doing. I think it just like helps you become bigger, faster, stronger, because when you go to that next level, like that's just how people are going to be, and you have to prepare your body for that. And if you don't, like, you're going to be just one step behind when you get to campus. And but I think just in the weight room too, like, you have to be very like particular in like what you're doing. Like if you're a basketball player, like don't lift like a bodybuilder, because you're not gonna, like, what does that do for you? Because
Yes, Ellie.
like, what does that do for you? Because like you have to you want to become stronger, but you want to be able to move too. So I think you just have to be particular and like specific in like the basketball, like doing like movements that translate to the basketball court.
You're 100% correct with all of it. The thing I'm going to mention from my world is I didn't even know Ellie trained with all these other trainers before, but these are two people who I find to be some of the best strength coaches around. But when she came in here, she knew all of the movements, right? Like, I'm like, oh, you know how to clean? Yeah, I know how to clean. I'm like, all right. My point is that we talked about this in the first or the second episode of like a training age. Ellie's training age right now is that of like a senior in college. So she's about to walk onto Dartmouth's campus, and she's going to at least be prepared for anything the strength coach has to offer in the weight room. Obviously, she's ready for the basketball court, but that's important too. Like she's saying, yeah, it matters because you want to get strong, you want to get fast. Like everybody's doing it. Everybody on your AAU team was probably doing it in some way, shape, or form. Everybody in college is doing it now. Do you have to do it one specific way? Absolutely not. We've already changed up how we do things just in a couple months of like what works for Ellie, what is she like? My point is the getting into the weight room early on can hopefully give you this level of like being prepared for your sport, but also she's way more advanced from the strength side of things, so we get to do things that are more advanced in here. So she's doing things that a college freshman is not doing. She's way, way more advanced. So it's just a little point of someone who's actually done it is like, this is what I'm telling you right now. Now getting to train her, we get to have fun. I'm like, we could do all of these things. What works best for Ellie?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we started there. We're going to Dartmouth, all of these things. I'll put you on the spot with you have the young girls of Bethlehem right now, the fourth graders, the future, they want to all be Ellie Cerf in the future. You're only talking to the kids, not the parents yet. What are some things you're telling them about advice, the future, anything? What you got?
I think like number one, you have to like love it, like, because there's times where it's really not fun. Like, you're gonna hit a bump in the road at a certain point, whether it's an injury, whether it's something else. You gotta really love it, because if you don't, like, you're just gonna shut down when something unfortunate happens. Also, you just have to, I think the number one thing is like believe in yourself. Like, there's always going to be somebody who wants to be in the position that you're in, and I think you have to, like, I don't even know, like, you have to continue to prove people wrong and believe in yourself, and that you can do anything that somebody may be doubting you that you could do.
I'm going to lean into that. When you're saying believe in yourself, how did you get that? Like, how did you get to this point where you're like, you got the ball in your hand, it's like, no, I'm beating you all day. Like, you're looking at young kids, maybe they don't know how to believe in themselves. So how did you get to that point of like, you have this belief in yourself?
I mean, I think number one, naturally, I think I'm more of like a confident person, like,
okay,
outgoing.
That's good.
But I think also, like, if you put in like the time, then you become more confident.
Right,
like,
you're prepared.
Yeah, if you practice a million catch and shoot threes, like, you're gonna be confident in like when it's like 3, 2, 1, like, you need the 3 to win the game, right? And I think you just have to prepare to be confident.
I love it. No, you're literally the definition of all of those things. I just want people to understand. It's like, it's not like you're just saying, oh, believe in yourself. No, right. You've taught yourself over time to believe in yourself with your preparation, with your work ethic, all of the things that you've done over your entire career. Mm. Let's take it to like a bigger span. So like the people who are listening right now to this podcast is my friends, other strength coaches, your friends, athletes, but a lot of parents as well. I'm trying to get this message across to parents to understand, forget basketball, all sports in general, like what it's like to be an athlete in today's world. What is your message to them? Like, okay, you get to give them 2 or 3 things of like, here's some things to think about, here's some advice. Now you're not talking directly to the athletes. You're talking to like, hey, here's the parents and the coaches of your perspective of being an athlete nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I think nowadays, like, you have, like, a million different, like, resources, to be honest with you.
That's true. So good.
I mean, even if it's, like, whether, like, it's an online video or it's, like, you're going to a coach, I think, like, honestly, like, number one, I think you really need to work on, like, your conditioning, your strength, because I think that just sets you so much farther apart. Like, you can be able to dribble a basketball all you want, but at the end of the day, if you get pushed over, like, what's that going to do for you, right? So I think just, just working on your craft. Like, there's a million different resources, so I think nowadays there's really no excuse as to why you can't work on your craft.
I love that.
There's a million parks. I don't know. Like,
I love that. So that could be the clip for the Instagram right there. It's like, you got resources. You're so right. You're so correct. Got 2 things left. I didn't tell you about these ones first. Okay. You have to rant about something in the sports world or in the basketball world or in the lifting world. What's something right now that you're like just angry about, you want to rant about when it comes to sports, basketball, lifting, something?
AAU.
And what you got? What about it? What about AAU? Because I want to rant about AAU too, but people are sick and tired of hearing me talk about it.
I mean, I think AAU's, like, I had a great AAU experience. Like, I got to travel the world, see cool places, make some of my best friends.
Cool.
Like, I had a great experience, just play so many basketball games. But, at the end of the day, like, it's a crazy experience. Like, let me put this in perspective.
Yes, please do.
Right?
Put it in perspective.
You're traveling to all these places, spending all this money, whether you're flying, driving car. Like, we always drove to all these places, whether it was Chicago. Yeah, because we didn't want to spend the money on the airplane ticket. But, like, so let me put this, like, price tag into perspective. Like, you're going to, say we go to Chicago, let's go to Kentucky. Right? You got to drive to Kentucky. You got to pay, like, way overpriced, like, hotel.
Yeah.
You got to pay, like, $50 for parking each day. You got to pay, God forbid, you want to get a water at the convention center, $7, something like that. Like, it's, like, this is a crazy world. And you have all these people that realistically aren't all going to play, like, at the next level.
That's the big point, Ellie.
Like, I think there has to be some type of, like, there's, like, the UIBL circuit, there's the Under Armour circuit, there's all these circuits, but at the end of the day, like, there's just so many people out there, like, doing this, and it's like, I feel like you need, like, the best of the best in one place, and I don't know how that's possible, but I think that's something that should be worked on.
No, I completely agree. I'm not even going to touch on it because it's a whole separate rant.
12-year-olds, like, going to these tournaments. Like, what?
Parents and coaches, listen. She's done it at the highest level of AAU. So thank you. Perfect rant. Yeah. Now let's finish on a positive one. What's something like a rave, like something that you're pumped about, you're excited about from the sport world, basketball world, lifting world, any of that? What's the opposite? What's not the rant? What's the rave?
Ooh. I'm excited to go to school. I'm excited to play basketball.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Like, I think after going through, like, the rehab process, like, we didn't take it slow. Like, we went to work, but we made sure, like, everything was good. Like,
right.
We were very, like, particular, like, no, you're not going to play until your quad strength is at a certain level. You're not going to play until you pass all these hop tests before you get on the force plates, and it's even and even now, like, we're still, like, we went from, like, 1-on-1, 3-on-3, 5-on-5, right? You, like, it's a very big progression, and I think there's just, like, this, like, I just want to play, like, I can't wait. So I think once I get, because I'm playing, but, like, obviously, like, I'm not, it's hard right now. Like, it's what month is it?
It's the last day in June, actually.
It's the last day in June?
Yes.
Okay. Last day in June. Like, it's an awkward time for a college athlete.
Yeah.
To play, like, a very, very good competitive, like, 5-on-5 game. So, like, I'm very excited for that. And just playing at the next level.
I love it. It's a great rave. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Peace.
Love it. blast off. This is the I Know Nothing podcast. Good luck to Ellie. Tune in this year. She's going to be dominating at Dartmouth.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
All right.
That was pretty good.